Today I'm making vegan spelt and almond flour waffles. I haven't had a waffle in so long, so I'm really excited about this. And I'm gonna make a cashew miso butter to go on the top, of course drizzled with maple syrup. But this is delicious. I can't wait to show it to you. And you guys know how much I love using spelt flour and all whole grain flours. But I found a new spelt flour. It's from a local mill and I'm so excited to try it. And of course, I'm mixing that with almond flour. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is get our flax egg going. So I'm just going to put the flax seed into the water and get that stirring around because that needs about a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to sit. So that's the first thing. The next thing is to make these waffles nice and light, I'm going to use some aquafaba. That's why I have my stand mixer out, because I'm going to beat this into an egg white. So I'm going to pour this in and we're going to whip that up right now. Okay, that's looking good, and I'll show it to you when I put it in that jar, but look at how good that is. And this was only 4 tablespoons of aquafaba. That's the beauty about a stand mixer, but if you don't have a stand mixer, you can just do this with hand beaters. And if you don't want to bother with aquafaba, then just replace that 1/4 cup with some applesauce. It won't be quite as light, but still delicious. Okay, take a look at this. Isn't that crazy? That's 4 tablespoons of aquafaba. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this out of the way and bring my waffle iron in, and then we'll get to making the waffles. Okay, so now let's get making the batter. The first thing I'm gonna do is smash up my banana. This acts as a binder, and where a lot of people would use an egg, it's nice to put a banana in there. Gives it a nice little sweetness. And always important to really mash it up a lot. Okay, so let's add our wet ingredients. I'm gonna add our soy milk. I always put a little drizzle of apple cider vinegar, but you don't have to. And then we're gonna do our flax egg. Stir that around. And then we're gonna do the orange juice and a little bit of olive oil. You can try to make this oil-free, but waffles are tough because they sit on that burner and sometimes they stick. I've done it, but they don't quite taste the same, and I'm still working to perfect an oil-free recipe, but I'm just putting literally a couple tablespoons in the whole batter. And now the banana. And lastly, almond extract. You guys can do vanilla extract. I love almond extract. So now we're gonna mix the dry ingredients together and then mix them together. But while we're doing that, let's put the waffle iron on. Get that cooking. So our spelt flour, almond flour, some coconut sugar, and baking powder. And I like, if I have an orange, which I happen to have an orange, I always do, I like to do a little zest. Also, sometimes I do it of a lemon, but since I use orange juice in here, I like to do the orange. And now let's mix the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. With batters, you always have to look at the end result. If it still feels a little thick, it is a waffle, so we don't want it too much like pancakes. But if it feels a little thick, then I just add a little more soy milk. because honestly, flours are just so different. I've never used this flour. This is my first time, this spelt flour. I can't wait. I'm so happy to find a local mill that does really sustainable flours. They do all kinds of cool flours. I can't wait to try more. So you can already see it's kind of having a lot of air in it. And we haven't even put our aquafaba in it yet. But I want to get this mixed around. You don't want to get too busy with this. So now I'm going to do half of this at a time. I'm just going to give it a quick little spray just to make sure it doesn't stick. I like to use a measuring cup just to pour it in there. Let's give it a go. It's ready. Waffles are tough. You never know how much to fill them up because they spread out and they puff up, but either way, they're delicious. Wow, look at that. Unbelievable, fantastic. I think it needs to go just a little longer though. That's amazing. It's usually about 4 minutes on each side. I mean, you know, it takes 4 minutes. Hey, you can make these up and cut them in squares and put them in your freezer and eat them for breakfast when you're ready. That's about 4 minutes. Awesome. All right, let's do one more. I'm going to give it another spray because no accidents. Look how beautiful that is. And they seem nice and a little crispy, but airy on the inside. We'll see. All right, so let me show you how I'm gonna decorate these up and make them really delicious. Okay, so now it's time to build our waffle and taste it. So I'm gonna put a waffle on my plate here, and I made this cashew, I call it butter, but it's basically cashews, lemon juice, a drizzle of maple syrup, and a spoonful of miso. So it's not too sweet. It's a little bit like a cream cheese, and it's so delicious. You can just put vegan yogurt. If you don't do that, you can eat it literally just with maple syrup. But it's so good, this butter. It's fantastic. I'll put the recipe up on my website. You guys can get it from there. And then let's put some beautiful blackberries. And some few little red raspberries. And now a little drizzle of maple syrup. Beautiful, delicious. Let's try it. I gotta get a bite of that cashew butter and maple syrup. The combo of the spelt waffle, because it's so earthy, you know, I love spelt because it's so healthy, but it's also so earthy. And you can taste the orange zest in there and the orange juice, but that cashew butter on there just matches so well with the spelt flour taste. Wow. I want this last bite just with maple syrup and the butter. You guys should make this. It's so easy, and you can sweeten it if you want it a little sweeter. I like that miso in there because I like that little bittery sour taste, and then it's full of probiotics and it's even more healthy. But this is so good, and you can put this on muffins, on bread, anything you want. Honestly, it's so good you'll want to eat it out of the jar. But on pancakes or waffles, it's fantastic. So give it a try. And I just want to say thanks to all of you who have subscribed. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week.